Hello, everybody. Mariner here, and welcome to Net That Haul. This is a bit of an impromptu one because we had an attempt to do the show last night and failed miserably. Gabe, didn't we? But, for one reason and another. But how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. I think it's been I got lucky with the game week, so happy about that. And but yeah, this we're kind of like piecing together this raft out of just like scraps that we have from the island. I feel like Castaway, and we're like netting that home.
I watched that film over Christmas. I quite like that film. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, what to say? Well, I've just travelled south for about 3 hours and just fallen into a friend's house, and now I'm doing a show. Nima can't make it tonight because of circumstances which he has. So it's just us two, the old gang. And I've already shared all the information on Twitter as well. So, because I didn't think we were going to do a show. But anyway, we're here. You're going to run the slides, aren't you? I'm just going to rant and try and give you a bit of data. Although, do we need to rant this week? Because how many points did you get?
I'm in triple digits. Even 100. Even 100 for me. 100, right on the dot.
Exactly 100.
Exactly 100 points.
That's very nice. Do you want to ask how many I got?
I couldn't hold. I was curious, so I looked. I know how much you got. You're a happy boy.
105.
Oh, welcome back.
Yes. About time I had a good week, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, that was about time I had a good week. The only thing which went wrong, well, I think it went wrong for a few of us, is the Martial and Mitrovic side of things. Otherwise, it had been higher. But I mean, I have to say that what the fucking hell's going on with that? I mean, we were all set with Mitrovic. We get this news that, he's not fit, he's not ready, blah, 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 blah. We take him out and then bugger me. What do? I look on bloody Twitter and someone says, he's in the ground. I thought, for fuck's sake, he's going to start. And then he started and then he scored. three returns. I'm like,
triple return, 15 points.
Bastard. I was so livid. I can't tell you how mad I was. I went into a 4-letter tirade on Twitter to the extent that I then logged out my Twitter and I've lost my passwords. I'm going to reset my account. I got into that much of a bloody mess with it. Oh, man. Honestly, I can't believe it. It was so bad. But anyway, look, we're going to have to decide what to do with Mitrovic, but I think he'll come up in the conversations as well, won't he?
100%. He has to, right?
So, shall we crack on? I'll let you. You're going to run the deck. I'm just going to cause trouble. So,
all right. So here we go. I'm steering the ship. So I'd like basically have my learner's permit, I think, at this point. So if it's a choppy ride, you know why.
Don't worry. So, what do we got first? We're going to say hello to a few people because I can't see much because I'm only on the laptop. So Chris is on a laptop at a friend's house. This is our makeshift raft for the show this week. Yeah, let's say hi to some people here in the chat, and then we'll say thank you to some haulers and our super haulers. We have Robin Popplewell. Hello there. Jared Whittinger is here. Podna. Prince Okawa is here. Claire FPL is here as well. So hello to you. And just a shout out the super haulers first. Harbor Boy, Daddy Bot, Greenback Golf, Sarah Gatsby, and FPL Robbie. Thank you very much. And then our haulers, Dom, Tursex, Claire FPL, who's in the chat. Thanks for joining us. FPL DG Boy 88, Akshay, Connor Hunt, Lindsay O, Tavindra Raj, Fantasy Football Casuals, Tom Gorsuch, Blonde, S. Scotters M, FPL Teacher, Lucian, Oscar Arias, Donny FPL, FPL _ Mike Halpin, Jack Daglish, Nehal Kokami, Kevin Rose, FPL _ Saffer from South Africa, Podna, who's also in the chat. What's up, Podna? FPL Craig and Dread FPL, along with our Patreon subscribers, Michael Winder or Winder. Sometimes the simplest of words are the I'm going to say ones. It's Winder.
Winder. Okay, Michael Winder up. And
I might be wrong. You'll have to tell us. Okay, and Lucian's there again for posterity's sake.
Yeah.
Catherine Adams just
Catherine,
joins
I was going to
us
say,
in.
Catherine's just popped up in the chat as well. We always shout the people out on Net That Haul whenever we can. So welcome everybody, and look forward to this show tonight. And I've got the door opening now. Oh, hang on a minute. The wife's on her hands and knees crawling around the ankle. I don't know what's going on here.
So backstage before the show, Mariner and I were talking. He's saying how his daughter Gianna is trying to like get in the door. She's banging on the door. Mariner's like Hodor holding the door back. He's like, no, Hodor.
I wasn't quite sure who was crawling, but there's nothing rude going on. But the wife's on all fours down. Oh my God! Now the dog's barking. Anyway, enough said. Close the door, woman.
All right, this is real life right here. IRL.
Should we dive into that? Well, come on. Let's have a go at this philosophy, and then we'll crack on from there.
Dive right into the FPL Philosophy of the Week for Gameweek 18 here from philosopher Henri Bergson, and he's a gentleman who said the following: "The eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend." If your chair could collapse, if it were a collapsible chair right now, Mariner, I think it would be collapsing in this moment.
Oh, I mean, you know why my chair used to collapse, don't you? It used to collapse because of Joe Linton, but I actually think the chair's actually made of sterner stuff now. What's wrong with him?
Joe Ellington is a legit player, isn't he?
He is now.
He is.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what Eddie Howe's done. I mean, he's turned Almiron into Lionel Messi.
Eddie Howe's a legit manager now too.
Yeah,
honestly, I was wrong about Eddie Howe. I'm going to say that 100% wrong.
Do you know what? I was talking to someone over Christmas, and they said there's one team I like to watch more than anybody else. They said I'd love to watch Newcastle. I said they remind me of Leeds a few years ago when I used to really love watching Leeds. But they've got Leeds with a defense.
With a defense, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, Catherine, it is chaos. I'm trying my best to keep this. I'm just going to laugh all my way through it or swear, one or the other. So, right, Gabe, go with these slides.
Here we go. As Elron Cupboard joins us in the chat as well. Hello, Elron, welcome. So the eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. This is basically like it's kind of like a deeper take on confirmation bias. Sometimes we can't see the things that we don't understand. For example, people that didn't start with Almiron, for example, just saying like he's never been this, so I can't comprehend him being this type of player, and he comes and he bangs another one, right? So I think we need to kind of re-examine the things that we think we know, and understand that we know. Before this game week started, and I said it last week, we knew less at the beginning of last game week than we did when the pause happened for the World Cup, right? So we need to like constantly just be flexible in our thinking and re-examine the things that we think we know or comprehend, because those things might have changed over the break. And certainly now, as we head into the transfer season, new players coming in. Liverpool signs Cody Gakpo, right? And how's that going to change? And is Cody Gakpo going to play on that front line, or is he going to play a more recessed role? Just like be flexible in your thinking, and let the weekly observations kind of dictate where you go.
Yeah, and I mean, an interesting one. And I didn't go there. I don't know if you went on Reece James, did you?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, I didn't either. And I thought, I don't know enough. I don't know enough as to how he is. And that just something told me not to go towards Reece. I'm not trying to gloat for anybody who did. He's still, it sounds like I saw the fitness coach was having a shit fit in the paper, apparently.
I mean, for Reece James, I think, look, there's like, we talk about putting yourself in a position to get lucky every week, right? It was unlucky that Reece James didn't get the clean sheet and that he got injured right before the 60 minutes. That's unlucky, right? What was not unlucky is that Reece James got injured. No, that is not unlucky. He's coming. He wasn't fully fit. He's coming back, starting. He gets injured a lot. Like this
was always potentially going to happen. It's just unlucky you didn't bag that, at least bag that clean sheet.
Right. But
You're like a few minutes off of that.
It's a great shame, and let's hope get well soon, and let's hope he gets back soon because he's a great asset.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way of putting it. We don't know an awful lot, and we'll learn a lot more over the coming weeks. And well, the next 2 weeks are in quick succession. Then we've got a bit of a breather. So maybe by the time we get into early January, we'll have a better idea what's going on. But shall we dive into these slides? Because I'm just a bit mindful of the fact that we've only got a day for this content. So I think we need to sort of like rattle through it and literally just pull out the players that we're really keen on, or perhaps we might want to consider around these fixtures. And obviously we can throw in the matchups and everything as we go. So
right on. And just for the people in the chat and the people in the pod, we will be quite concise with everything today. Just so, it's a quick turnaround. The deadline's tomorrow. So so we'll just get right to it, and we'll move on to the FDRs right here for game week 18 to 24.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So what are we going to look at first of all? So who's got the best fixture difficulties this week? Well, there's a picture of Mo Salah on the screen, and that's the reason for that. And I'm just trying to get all my screen working.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liverpool have the best fixture difficulty this week, 4.7 in attack. That's very, very good indeed. And that is because Leicester are pretty rank, particularly away from home. And so that's a very, very positive, very closely followed by Manchester City against Everton at 4.3. Hardly surprising. Everton are awful away. Much better at home, as we know. Then Newcastle against Leeds, another tasty one, and Spurs against Villa. Really, really tasty. Happy to have made the decision to own Harry Kane. And for all you, if there's any Brentford fans who are giving him a load of shit, well, tough shit to you, because you bought that, didn't you? Because he just popped up and did what Harry Kane does. He scores goals. And if there's one thing to piss a decent player off, it's when you want to try and when someone tries to ram something down your throat when you're already feeling pretty shit. Who else has got a decent fixture for the attack side? Not many at all. Fulham 1.2. That's about it. Notice Arsenal is not good, minus 1.2. We're going to keep on this Arsenal fact as we go forward. On defence, Spurs 2.2. Now, Spurs still, we're going to have Lloris back, I think, are we? Is he going to be back?
I think he should be back, right? By this point.
That will probably cement that 2.2, perhaps. I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm not so sure about without him.
This is the last 6, right? It's been topsy-turvy with Unai Emery. And we can talk about it more when we get to the matchups, and we'll compare all of them. But I don't know that I don't like the clean sheet there for Spurs. I disagree with the FDR here. So we'll see what the other metrics say about it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. The one that jumps out, and I mean, look, I'm going to have a bit of a laugh about this. Bournemouth have a positive defensive fixture difficulty of 1.7 against Crystal Palace. Now, look, Bournemouth are pretty good. Have been a lot better at home than they are away, and that's the reason why it's spotted. But holy shit, if Bournemouth have got a 1.7 positive away at home against Crystal Palace are bad away from home.
Patrick Vieira came out and said it, right? He said that they just weren't. They're not up for it. They're not second at every single ball. They're just really not creative going forward. They are bad. Palace,
there might be a reaction.
So bad.
There might be a reaction to what he said.
And part of it is Tompkins. It's every time Tompkins plays, it's a problem. It's a card. It's at least a goal per game from that area where Tompkins is playing. Yeah, you could see that red card coming all the way, from the beginning of the game. I don't know. Tompkins is a huge problem. So Gahey will be back for the next game. So as far as their defense, that could be better, but it's their attack that's struggling.
I have to say, I quite fancy Bournemouth in that one, but there we go. We'll come on to this a little bit later. Who else have got positive defensive fixture difficulty? Brighton, slightly positive 1.2 again at home, and then Manchester City only 1.1, and Manchester United only 1.1. I'm not sure there's that many clean sheets this week, if I'm totally honest with you.
The Manchester City one is surprising, isn't it?
They keep conceding. The
Manchester United one is also surprising. I mean, maybe because Wolves at home, but
yes, I think it is. And I mean, bear in mind, look, Manchester United have You know, they're a team who are probably in transition now, or certainly starting to transition into a much better team than they were at the start of the season. And there is a little bit of early season in this as well, so we have to take that into consideration.
But overall, it doesn't like the defenses.
No, it doesn't, and it doesn't like it in the long run either, because in the longer run, I mean, you know, the usual suspects are right up there. See, in Manchester City, very, very good between 19 and 24. Liverpool, very good. Manchester United, very good. Brentford, Brighton, and Arsenal as well. Brentford, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Tony, so they're a hard avoid for me right now. Brighton, I really like Brighton, particularly once we start getting into double game week territory. Arsenal again, very good.
Just really quickly on Tony, I think he's guaranteed to play the next two at least.
Right.
I think he has until January 4th to appeal.
Right. Okay. But anyway, in any case, there's a few options attacking wise. Defensively, I mean, Spurs is a little bit further down, actually, interestingly enough. But defensively, Brighton stand out, and I don't own any, and I'm a bit worried about that. I've got to be honest. The only thing is, I think the ownership's not too high. Might be wrong. Arsenal 4.4 is the other one, and I think, you know, I know if we're starting to talk about Reece James as looking about replacing Reece James, which is one of the conversations which will surely come up. I think you have to potentially consider, if you don't own an Arsenal defender, you should have one, and if not, for me, it's Botman. I think he's just brilliant value for Newcastle, and I mean, whilst the fixture difficulty isn't fantastic going out, it's still positive. So I think White, Botman are the two, if it was me, and throw the money into forward. What
about the Brighton defender? Are you throwing a Brighton defender in there as well?
If I was talking about Brighton, I might go to Estupiñán, I think.
I have Estupiñán. I started with him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm really happy about it. The double's coming, potential triple, unlikely, but the fixtures are good. So I'm happy I started with Estupiñán.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the Arsenal defense is pretty solid as well, and I think Ben White, you know, when he gets out of the back of his car, he'll be decent. Sorry, did I just say that? Sly old dog. Anyway, right? Should we carry on?
All right. Let's check out the zonals.
Yeah. So so we're looking at the zones. Again, just need to pop these onto the screen. Now, what's really interesting here? Who really stands out? Well, there's not that many. Manchester City, obviously, left centre.
Yeah.
Who's that going to be on the left? Maybe Foden this time. If that's the case, Foden owners, don't despair. Hold him if you own him. Don't despair. Probably sounds like he will start by all accounts.
Why? So what's the? This is what I guess I haven't heard. What's the reasoning that Foden will start?
Just rumours that he's probably going to be ready to start this time. So obviously,
so he didn't start because he wasn't ready.
Grealish played very well, didn't he?
I mean, it depends what Pep wants. Like, they do very different things, right? They're very different players, Foden and Grealish. For a while, I thought Grealish was doing well, except when he gets around the goal. And I don't know, this is just personal preference. I get tired of seeing the same play every time. Grealish, hard right turn, dribble across the field while your entire team is just standing there watching you, waiting for you to get fouled. It's so boring. So I don't know, but back to the issue at hand. I don't know about Foden. If Foden doesn't start, I think we shouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling. I think he might. I would certainly hold him if he got.
I would probably hold him, but if he didn't start, I would say, okay, I did this to myself.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you're at home against Everton.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could be they're in disarray. It could be a very, very big score. But yeah, who else is looking good? Obviously, Man City centre, hey Preston. I mean, the juggernaut continues to roll on, doesn't he? I'll tell you what is interesting. West Ham, home against Brentford, 5.2 on the left, 4.9 through the middle. I mean, obviously they're playing Arsenal. They played Arsenal, so not many people are going to get much against Arsenal at Highbury, particularly, right? But that's a good matchup on the left-hand side. It's still Cresswell territory, right? And it's Ben Rama territory.
And that's Benrahma is has been West Ham's kind of only bright spot up there. I don't know if Skamaka will be back for this matchup, but that left and central matchup against Brentford, I wrote about this in matchups for Gameweek 17, and we saw it was I think Xhaka when Arsenal played Brentford, Xhaka put a pass in for Gabriel Jesus where he just fades away from the center back, and Kane did exactly the same thing when on that ball from Højbjerg. I think it was. Yeah, Prince just wants to know what those numbers are. Those are the game weeks.
Yeah, so. I've just put that up anyway. So okay. Yeah, but apart from that, there's a bit for Crystal Palace down the left, Fulham left as well, probably chances. Who would that be down the left side of Fulham?
Well, the thing about Fulham's left is that's Willian.
Right.
Willian has seen a resurgence, an incredible resurgence. He's been playing so well, so creative. Yeah. So Fulham has been really interesting because they're now Mitrovic is also fading to that left, and he's being a short to medium kind of like target for William, and then William goes up the wing. So yeah, a lot of Palace's creativity is coming from the left hand side these days.
Yep. So I mean, it looks like the thing is, Mitrovic is such a nightmare right now because if you don't own him, are you going to go for him? It's just a killer in it. You know what's going to happen if you own him. But saying that, he's still a good pick. But I just think, I don't know. I've just got the feeling I might want to just wait now. I'm going to play Andreas and just be done with it. I think. I don't know. I'll have to think about this.
I mean, I think Mitrovic has to be in our medium-term plans, and it's so easy to react and just get him right. Like it's like I really, we all want him. We would have had him if we would have.
Definitely been in my team.
He would have been in our teams. My whole structure would be different. I wouldn't be in a 3-5-2. I'd probably be in a 3-4-3. Like a lot of things would be different.
Yeah. I suppose at least I'm in a 3-4-3, but even then, quite frankly, if it's not Mitrovic, it's who else is it going to be?
If I had Darwin, I would, which obviously would never happen. But if I did have him, Darwin to Mitrovic would be immediate my first transfer, like right away. I would do it straight away. I mean,
do that with a 4.7 fixture difficulty against Leicester. He's bound to score a hat-trick. Mind you, he needs about 55 chances to get a hat-trick.
Is that enough? Like,
all right,
you could have 4 big chances per game and score 0 goals. Like what are we talking about here? This is like
honestly, you can't.
He's the new Benteke or something like that. He's gonna come back in like 7 years and score some headers.
Oh my God, Benteke reincarnated. Excellent, I love it. I mean, let's have a quick look at the longer range sort of stuff and see who stands out. Well, obviously, City again stand out left and centre. Not so much on the right still. Interestingly enough, nothing much going down City's right. West Ham's left's very good. Spurs wings suggested plenty of headed chances. We'll come on to that later on.
One thing I'll say about City's right is when Julian Alvarez is ready to play, that's his natural position. He plays like that, the inside right forward, and that could change for City.
That could be a false number then. Liverpool's numbers are not great. Better on the Salah. Honestly, Salah's chances have vanished. I mean, he used to be a standout right wing zonal pick, didn't he? Always. He's been there as long as we've been doing zonals. Salah's been there. And he's not there right now. And in fact, interestingly enough, the left's better than the right. So that suggests Robbo, although it's marginal.
Well, what's happening is Darwin pulls to the left side and combines with Robbo. And when he does that, Salah comes centrally. So there's not much. And then Trent isn't getting in that right space. So Salah's not even playing, or they're not creating from the right side
so he's
anymore.
Maybe still getting his chances, just in a slightly different third.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Fulham's wings, again, stronger than down the middle, but that again suggests delivery for Mitrovic, probably. Yep. And if anybody's going to put the ball away, he will. Brighton left and centre, that's Trossard. That's Trossardville, isn't it?
I love Trossard for the double.
Me too. That's why I saved some money in the bank to go from Rashford to Trossard.
So, and then think of like Trossard or Mitrovic. Should I be going for Trossard or Mitrovic when the doubles come? That's going to be a tough decision.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, actually, the reason I structured mine is that I could actually move Martial to someone like Mitrovic and Trossard to Rashford. I could make both moves. That's the way I structured mine. But it might mean sacking off Ward and hoping to God Kepa holds his place, because one of the players I've actually started to consider, Gabe, and it doesn't really show up an awful lot on this, is Havertz.
Oh God, no.
For a double. For the double.
No. What have you done? What's wrong with you?
Oh my God.
What's wrong with you?
Oh my God. Seriously? Well, let's see. I'm not making the move this week. Let's see. Let's see how they get it.
If you, I'll end the broadcast. I'll end it right now. I've done it before.
You normally do. You normally do anyway. You normally just cut it off in our prime. You've done it a couple of times. So just do it again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mentioning Havertz is not our prime.
Look, I would have to do it, but I'd have to sack off. I'd have to sack off Ward down to Iverson or someone like that, which maybe don't appeal. So if that's the case, maybe it is Mitrovic after all. But maybe he'll get his, hopefully he won't get his yellow card, because that makes a quite simple move in 19 with 2 free transfers, if that's the case. Okay, what else?
Havertz is Chelsea's Darwin.
Arsenal, left, vanished. Where's the chances gone on the left? Must be because players like Martinelli couldn't in, right? Or he's drifting in. Can't be any other reason.
I think there's several reasons. One, I think their last 6 matches have been against teams who are more vulnerable on the left side, and so I think there's been more of a reliance on, like, Saka is growing into more of a talismanic role for the team as well. But I think as that happens, you're right. Martinelli is coming. He's closer to the post, right? He's closer to Xhaka. He's closer to the post as the play shifts to the right there. So yeah, probably something like that, and the fact that Zinchenko still he hasn't gotten regular time. It's still Tierney out there, and it was Tomiyasu for a while, and they're not creators from that left side. So yeah.
I mean, look, I've been burnt by a Chelsea gamble before now. At the end of last season, I was burnt badly, wasn't I? Going for Werner, so dare I do it again? I don't know. Anyway, let's just a comment from there. Why is Havertz not an option from Sachin? Quickly jumping back into Arsenal, Odegaard. I really like him right now. I don't think I don't know. Could I go Odegaard as my second Arsenal midfielder with Martinelli? There's an option to do that rather than Saka and keep your money and save your money perhaps for Jesus coming back in about 4 weeks' time or something like that, because actually there's a rumor he might be back sooner rather than later. I'm not quite sure about that, but yeah, I can see a world where I could actually own both Martinelli and Odegaard.
Or Odegaard over Martinelli if you've somehow sold Martinelli and you're choosing between the two, right?
Yes, if I wasn't owning Martinelli already, then I might go Odegaard for a differential, given the fact I'm trying to climb the ranks a little bit. What's on the bad side of things? How the hell is Tony actually get any returns? I mean, he finishes things, doesn't he?
He's such a good player. He does everything. He does so much for that team. He drops deep and does the Kane thing. He's in the box and does the old Kane thing. He's doing all of those things. He's a really good player. The gambling thing is such a shame, and I think really just a commentary on growing up in poverty.
Well,
and
he gambled at the back post. He gambled well at the back post, didn't he, for that goal?
Yeah, he did. He read that one well.
His initials are I bet, aren't they? Oh, that's hilarious. That really got me. Little things like that made me laugh. But just very quickly, just the last thing I want to bring up is Manchester United. Solid greens, left, centre, right, without at this moment without a double, right? Now if they get a double, then what? Rashford is going nowhere. Looks in fine form to me. Literally kicked on from the World Cup. The guy is completely resurgent. Fabulous value.
Yeah.
Probably complete no-brainer for me right now. As for the rest, I'll tell you what, the player I'm quite impressed with, and as I've seen him starting to sneak into a few teams, is Luke-Shaw. What do you think? Is Luke-Shaw a James replacement? I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people are going for him. I wouldn't go there. I think I'd prefer Botman.
Yeah,
you know, and
fair play.
save a little money.
Bit of a gamble. It's a bit of a gamble, but
Yeah,
Reece,
but worth it. Worth a gamble, I think.
Luke-Shaw is not the worst pick out there. Yeah, but I do like Manchester United going forwards, and again, I mean, I didn't watch much of the game because I was busy with family, but I think a few people went for Bruno, didn't they? And I think they were possibly quite unlucky by what I've heard. I don't know if you watched the game.
Yeah, I watched the game. Bruno was not good.
Was he not?
No.
There's rumors I heard it was a bit unlucky, but anyway, there we go.
No, I disagree. I don't think. I think he was trying to do too much. He was trying to push his his role was a little bit further back, and he was trying to push it into the front line when really like the player of the match was Rashford.
Yeah, Rashford was again, fabulous. So yeah, okay, let's keep going, and then we'll jump into the individual fixtures and literally rattle through those.
Right on. Here we go. Whoops. Yeah, I'll do NetxG, right? Here we go. NetxG really quickly. And then we'll get into like some of the matchups here. Kind of on the upper side of NetxG, we're looking at Newcastle home against Leeds 2.21. Then we have Man United 1.97 away to Wolves, and then Arsenal 1.79. So a bit of a disagreement in that metric there at 1.79. And then the worst fixtures are pretty obvious. Nottingham Forest 0.61 against Chelsea, and Everton against Man City 0.69, and then we have Brighton against Arsenal. So no real surprises there on the NetxG side.
I think this is just showing it's a slight weakness again with respect to the home and away. If I'm honest, it looks to be, which we obviously have to try and put right at some stage when we ever get our fingers out. Do it. We will manage in the new year, I promise. But yeah, I mean, for me, the Liverpool-Leicester looks low. That looks like a big score for me. I think Brighton are underestimated at home by NetxG. I think that could be it's got 1-1 all over it for me. That could be points drop for Arsenal. I think that's to me, that looks quite a tough fixture. And Brighton at home have been pretty good.
You think Brighton will hold Arsenal?
I think they can hold them,
just a goal.
Yeah, I think they possibly can. Yeah, I've got that funny feeling, and I think the Zonals suggested that it could be quite a sparse. If you want to zip back to the Zonals for Arsenal, for Brighton, I
think Arsenal will be able to. You know how so Brighton like to build from the back. They like to draw the pressure in and then play out of that, right? I think Brighton are going to have a hard time playing through Arsenal and playing through that midfield. And I
don't doubt that's the case, but I just think I think Arsenal could find it quite. It's not an easy place to go, is it? It's really not an easy place to go. Yeah. So, and I mean, look, Highbury is an absolute bloody fortress now, and Arsenal are the real deal. And I'm not saying Arsenal won't get a result, but I think there could be a chance they won't. Do you know what? I've even contemplated benching Martinelli.
Can't do that. That's crazy. For whom?
It would be for Andreas. Against Southampton.
An interesting conversation, that. Yeah. I can see that, but I would never.
Southampton to me look really poor. I don't think I will, because I've got a feeling I'll bench Martial instead. I think
Andreas looks good.
Yeah, because that's my three options this week: is bench Martial, Andreas, or Martinelli.
That's tough.
If I went with the safe move, is to go with an EO move, isn't it? And to bench Martial.
Well, maybe. Let's look at the matchups, and then maybe that will.
Let's try and answer that one. It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
A few people might have that little dilemma because that's a fairly common three ball, right?
Yeah. I think that's a good conversation, and see if it comes up in the matchups here.
Yeah.
I mean, like over time, 19 to 24, really quickly for NetxG. It's all the the usual suspects. Man City.
Arsenal. And NetxG likes Fulham quite a bit, and you'll see why when we get to like the shots predictor and stuff like that. So here we go. Matchups. First matchup we have West Ham versus Brentford. We talked about Ivan Toney. And then we talked about the zonal matchups for West Ham. That left and central zonal matchup really lines up nicely for players like Ben Rahma, and even like a strong player like Antonio, or a big player like Skamaka could take advantage of this in a similar way that Kane did against Brentford.
I got a funny feeling West Ham are going to get a result here. And I think I follow you with this. And, you know, again, if you're looking for a Reece James replacement, I think Cresswell isn't out of the picture, if I'm honest with you. Although they are in a bit of disarray, and I think that's the worry. Would you go for a defender in a team who are, you know, quite frankly, down at the bottom right now? Unless you're going for a Patterson of this world, who you're just going to stuff on your bench and let him rot unless you need him. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's an interesting one. But yeah, I sometimes, although your shots on target predictor is a little bit the other way by looks things, is it? It likes Brentford a little bit more.
Well, the reason it likes Brentford is when Brentford get a shot on target, it's usually pretty high expected and XGOT, expected Game of Thrones. So, and that's thanks to Tony and the way Tony finishes and stuff like that. So when they don't get many shots on target, they're like middle of the road as you see in the shots model predictor. But when they are on target, they're up in the top third of the table.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that might be a West Ham win. I might go down that way, but yeah, let's see how that goes. I don't think there's an awful lot to speak about really there. Nobody's going to buy Tony. People might consider Cresswell, or I don't know about Ben Rahma, why you would even consider Ben Rahma, really, given the fact there's so many other options out there. So
yeah. Okay. We'll move on to the next matchup here. Liverpool versus Leicester.
Just need a line of amber and you'd have a traffic light, wouldn't you?
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Line of amber, you have a traffic light. Liverpool green, Leicester red.
Leicester red, yeah, exactly. But interestingly, the NetxG raw number is quite low for Liverpool.
That's due to Leicester's home form, I think, not the away form. I genuinely see this as being quite I see your goal model a lot more in line with what I'm thinking.
I agree.
Salah's a serious captaincy shout this week.
Yes, well, I don't think you can ever consider anybody other than Holland. But if Holland wasn't in the game, Salah would be quite obvious. And this is why it's so nice to have like all the different models, and you see, well, 3 of them agree, 1 of them doesn't agree. It's like, okay, so
exactly, it's what it is. It is what it is. I mean, these are just numbers. You make your own narratives of the numbers, don't you? And we don't want to be making narratives that way. You know, you should want to think for yourself. We don't spoon feed on Net That Haul, as you know. But yeah, I strongly I like the look of Liverpool's left. I think Robbo is that's an interesting option. If you've got money in the bank, can you get to Robbo from James? Because that could be a nice move if you've got the money in the bank, and it's quite differential as well, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw several people on Twitter, some bigger accounts went with Robbo, and it worked out this past game week. I just can't invest that kind of money in Liverpool defense.
There is a big problem. Their defense is bloody awful.
It's awful. It's not really getting better. And you can spend that kind of money in midfield or in the forward that I think are just more safer picks. So true. It wouldn't be for me, but yeah, I could see why someone would go there.
Yeah. All right. So I think we've mentioned that one. Wolves, Manchester United. Well, Wolves are a hard avoid for me.
Nothing to talk about there, really.
Nothing to talk about, really. Rashford, again, is for me. We've got the players already. Matchups actually suggest this could be a little bit tougher for Manchester United, though.
I mean, Wolves aren't they're no whipping boys, right? No. Wolves can play, especially at home, and I think that's probably what your FDR is suggesting there, and why it's not so good for Manchester United.
That's right. That's my view. I think you're the other way. So I think you're a bit more. You're more bullish on Manchester United, and I'm more the opposite way. And it sounds like the 6-year-old here's got a whoopee cushion going off in the back.
She is a whoopee cushion.
No, the 6-year-old, not my daughter. Anyway, I just know they're massive. I hope it wasn't repercussion. Anyway, carry on.
But this is, so if we're just to mention, you know, what you had mentioned, the question you were talking about, Martial, are you going to bench Martial given for example, the shots models, the 2 shots models there?
Yeah, the shots models are better, aren't they? But then again, I mean, the shots models, again, they're much better at home than they are away. And there's another problem with Martial, and it's his expected minutes. He is getting subbed.
Yeah,
he's the first one to go.
He might not even. I said this. I forget. I was talking to somebody on Twitter. And I said this. The reason I went Nketiah over Martial was because it wouldn't surprise me if Garnacho starts and Martial is on the bench, right? It wouldn't, and because Martial gets subbed, like you said, around the 60-minute mark for Garnacho. And Alejandro Garnacho he does something. He brings something new to the team, and at least it looks like he wants to be there, at the very least. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Martial is benched one of these games.
Which again makes me think, is he my bench bitch, shall we say? It could be. It could be. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one because I bought him for these fixtures, and again, I might actually end up selling him, oddly enough, before I get to the Bournemouth fixture, which is where it becomes a very, very complicated decision next week. Because I think I'd like to see him play a bit more, quite frankly. I want to see more minutes from him this week. Otherwise, I am pretty concerned about him. Because you could just see what happens, can't you? You get to the Bournemouth fixture, and then he's benched.
And then he's benched for that.
Real kicking the balls.
Garnacho gets a brace.
Yeah, that's absolutely kicking the balls. Okay, next.
All right. Speaking of Bournemouth. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to put that on the screen. I apologize.
No, we can't talk about Bournemouth and Palace.
We're not talking about Bournemouth Palace. Sorry.
Move on. Fulham Southampton.
Southampton.
I agree with your NetxG here. This is a definite. Fulham could do very well here, barring a horrible red card, which or something ridiculous. I really. Oh my God!
You got a fan.
Screaming children in the background. But no, I really like the look of Fulham this week. I like the look of the matchup on the left-hand side as well. The shot goal predictors like everything likes them. And they've got a double next week. This is the dilemma if you don't own Mitrovic, right? It's a massive dilemma.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, Fulham, I think we said it has the second or third highest NetxG of the game week. I agree with NetxG on this as well, by the way. NetxG really likes Fulham. I like Fulham's attack as well.
2-0, 3-0, wouldn't be all surprised. Couple of returns for Mitrovic, wouldn't be all surprised. Couple of returns for Andreas, wouldn't be all surprised. I'm not sure I'd buy Tim Ream though. I saw there was a comment in the
I actually don't mind that show. Is he sub 4-5? I don't know. If he's 4-5, there are better assets. Get a Stupinian.
Nigel, here he is. James out Reaming. I mean, for me, Ream on. No way. Again, they're okay at home. I suppose you could chuck him on the bench and play him in your home games and then leave him out for the away games. But was it his first goal? I mean, I don't think he gets many returns, does he?
Yeah, I mean, Tim Ream is 4.5. I'd rather have a Stupinian. I'd rather have Botman.
I totally agree with you on that. I would want a Brighton defender at 4.5 or a Botman instead. Personally, I definitely agree with you. Someone's unhappy about his skating, but well, the wife does own it.
Exactly, that's the wife.
Well, that wasn't the wife screaming. So we've got just to let you know, there's a 1-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a dog, and 3 people in the other room, and me sat in a little in the little office. But there we go. Anyway, Reece Outshaw in from Carlac. I quite like that. I mentioned that earlier. So okay, Southampton. I don't get the love for Adams at all.
I don't
get the love for any, and of course the one you tried to talk me from Perro. Thank God I didn't go to him.
Poor Perro.
I know. Next,
There we go. Who's next? Why isn't it working? It's not working.
Well, I mean, we've already spoken about the Manchester City Everton. Solid result, expected result for me. A big score. Can't see anything any different. Can I see Everton score a goal? That's the question. I was smarting a bit about Cancelo not playing, but it is what it is. You know, last week, and I was pleased that they conceded. Actually, that would, because there would have been a little bit of a hit, but not that probably much, because I'm not sure that many people own any other defenders other than Cancelo, right? Maybe a couple of people went for Stones. I see there was a Kanji has been mentioned in the chat. Not many though. Walker was a big gamble. He was cheap, but a huge gamble, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, I liked the Kanji. Ever since he's come in, he's played almost every single minute. I think he's a good value pick in that
nearly
defense.
Went for Stones instead of Cancelo. Then I went with the EO pick just for safety. But that did cross my mind. But he's possibly going to become a minute's risk in the future.
There's an interesting thing about Manchester City is in their last 6 games, their expected goals on target is quite low. So obviously, like,
it doesn't need to be high.
Doesn't need to be high. That's the thing too. But you'll notice that the numbers, the data, at least as far as NetxG and the goals model, the goal predictor models go, are quite low. So on the shots on target model goal predictor, there's Fulham have a higher chance of 4 or more goals than City. Fulham was at 11%, City's at 3% here. And the reason is, I'm looking at the data here. So Manchester City, even their shots on target is down. They have 5.8 shots on target, which is like about 4th or 5th best. And their expected goals on target per shot on target is 0.28. And that's like right around mid-table, right around 10th. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter.
Bear in mind, the captaincy metric, I've just cleaned off the Manchester United fixture because that was dropped off the back of it, and that wiped a big chunk off Cancelo, off Foden, even off Haaland. Thankfully, he replaced it. But yeah, I mean, they haven't since then. Maybe if you're starting talking about that shorter period, talking 6 game weeks, that Manchester United fixture's disappeared now, right? So that might be one of the reasons why you're starting to see these numbers come down, because maybe that skewed it a little bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could. I'm not sure either. I just thought that was surprising, because every time, like last week when we did the data, I saw Manchester City quite low, and then this week when we did the data, I saw it quite low compared to teams like Fulham. So I was wondering why, and looking into the data, that's why. And like we said, it doesn't matter. Like they're just going to do what they do.
FPL Trinis, if you had to pick from a Kanji, Ake, Stones to pair with Cancelo, which one would it be? That's really difficult, because I think all of them become minute risks going forwards.
I think Akanji has the lowest minute risk, and I think Ake has the highest potential attacking return. He gets in the box quite a bit, especially on set pieces and stuff like that. So I don't know. Take that if you want to play that game, that I would go probably with one of those two.
Yeah. But anyway, solid Manchester City win. I think I don't see anything other than 3 or 4-0.
And like you said, if you have Foden, you have to hold. Obviously, he's a hold.
He is.
And
he is. And the other thing is, and I think this is an interesting, people might be started with KDB and perhaps now thinking of jumping to Salah. That could really come back and bite you on the arse as well.
Yeah, I have both. So
I know you do, but I didn't go that way in the end. I decided to go the Kane route. But yeah, Laporte maybe is another one from Trini. So yeah. Look, it's a differential, isn't it? You're obviously looking to replace Reece James. So, the safest route into that defense is the goalkeeper, but I just don't see the point in spending an extra $1 million over someone like Kepa right now. But that's just where I landed. Whether Kepa remains a solid pick without coming back to bite me on the backside in a few weeks remains to be seen. Yeah. But yeah, I think I tend to agree with you, but I think they're all risks. think they're all minute risks. And you can't trust Pep. You can't trust him. It's impossible. Shall we keep going?
Agreed. Let's keep going.
Newcastle Leeds.
Newcastle Leeds.
This could be a battering.
This is the fixture of the week.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one.
This is the best one.
I hope it's on TV in the UK, because the trouble is I get all the fixtures. I can watch every game in Singapore, albeit in the middle of the bloody night. But they're not all the games aren't on here. Well, they were last week because they were on Amazon, but normally they're not on. So real pain in the ass. I hope this is the live one. This is really suggesting NetxG goes for Newcastle. The matchup, the fixtures, goes for Newcastle as well. Interestingly, the zonals don't really pick much out, oddly enough. Why is that? Why are we not seeing the zones jumping out for Newcastle? I honestly expected to see a clean sweep of green here.
I think just that there's no just in terms of like there's no disparity between the two. It could be like if say Newcastle, they create more from the right hand side, right, where Trippier is, where Almiron is, but Leeds concedes more from their right hand side, so they concede less from the left, so it kind of like balances out. So it balances out so we have like from the zonal perspective, it's pretty balanced. I think everything's close enough. I think Newcastle's headed chances could be interesting.
Yes. Yes,
right? The headed matchups there.
Does that again? That would help if Callum Wilson was fit, right? And the rumours is he's possibly not. Although it'll be Joe Linton Day again. Oh my good God, the chair's going to collapse. But
that could be good news for Trippier.
Yes, it could.
Right? So,
but saying that, we all own him anyway.
Yeah, everybody owns him. Yeah, fair enough. That's true. And Almiron's not going to be coming in there with any headed goals.
You need that differential for Newcastle now. I think they're actually just a shield, quite frankly.
Yeah. I think that what's interesting is the one model that kind of stands out is the shots model goal predictor, where it's quite even. Just slightly favors Newcastle.
I genuinely cannot say. I wouldn't put Leeds past scoring. This is 3 or 4-1 to me.
And I think when you look at the shots model, and you're like, well, they're pretty even. That's just number of shots, right? And then compared to XG, but the ones on target, the one Newcastle, they add XG to their shots. When they're on target, they're more quality than the Leeds shots, and that's why the Newcastle could run away with it, especially at home.
I just think if Leeds score, and I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm not too worried about it, because in fact it might suit me if they score, because then I won't get hammered by EO on the second Newcastle defender. Right. But anyway, let's keep going that one then.
Okay.
Brighton Arsenal we've spoke about already. NetxG likes Arsenal.
Yes.
Fixture difficulty doesn't. That I think is the home and away side of things. I think we all agree that Brighton. You've got a Leeds Newcastle slide on that. They've got a Leeds Newcastle bit on there. But
sorry about that. It was a rush.
But I think the left hand side of things is where Brighton are going to do their bits. Interestingly enough, and it doesn't show on here, and it's a shame. The Martinelli side, the left hand side for Arsenal is not good, and that was quite solid. Quite a big negative actually. So that was the reasoning behind what I was thinking about. Maybe a Martinelli benching might be an option, but like you say, I mean, there was a rumor that it's not a rumor. Brighton's midfield's decimated by the looks of things, so that maybe makes me again go play Martinelli. And I can't say that Arsenal aren't a great side this year, because they are. Martinelli's a fantastic player. If I bench him and he scores, I'd be dead.
And he's so highly owned as well that it would hurt very much.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, but I don't know. I see a 1-1 here. I see a 1-1
I just think I see 3-1 Arsenal
defense. I don't know. I'd be playing. I don't know. I'd be going out and buying a second Arsenal defender this week.
No, not the week to double up. I agree with you on that. No. Yeah. All right, shall we move on? Yeah. We've already covered this one a little bit. 2 more fixtures to go here. We'll probably only cover one of them because the other one involves Chelsea.
Let's have a laugh at the other one then. Tottenham Villa. Well, I mean, your NetxG really likes Aston Villa. I can't see it. I just can't see it.
It's those 4-goal Emery games. Like that's in the last 6 he's had like 2 or 3 games where they've scored 3+ goals or something like that. And that's why it likes it. And Spurs defense it's just not good. They give up so many chances. And it's reflected there. I guess like also the other thing, they've become more clinical. Danny Ings is finishing well when he played. He didn't play last game week, obviously. But Ollie Watkins has scored some good goals. Leon Bailey has scored some good goals. So they've become a lot more clinical as well. And I think that's what NetxG likes.
Someone playing music now.
I could see this game being 1-1.
I don't see it. I see 2 or 3. I see a relatively easy Spurs win. And I'd be very happy to own Harry Kane for this fixture. I really fancy him this week.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, Kane's the man. He's going to get you a minimum of 7 points per week.
We've got the wrong headed matchup on there anyway. But anyway, I think we've sorted the headed matchup. They're on Twitter if anybody needs them, but I think it's quite positive for Harry Kane as well.
Okay. Moving on to the last one, and we won't spend much time here. Hopefully I have the right matchup. Nope. I forgot to change that one. Apologies. I forgot to change your FDR there in the last 3 as I was hurrying, making breakfast for the kids. So apologies for that. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. I mean, I don't know what there is to talk about. This is just a sea of red. Chelsea's attack is crap. I don't want to like this Havertz talk it's garbage. It's recency bias. That's what that is.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, look, Chelsea. The only thing I would say is Chelsea have been pretty abject away from home, haven't they? And it's Forest at home. They have been battered. They were battered at Leeds, weren't they? Yeah. Battered. Now, I'm not saying Forest can do that, but I'll tell you what, Forest can give Chelsea a hard time. I expect, let's put it this way, if Kepa manages to get a clean sheet, I reckon he might get max bonus points. There we go. Because I think there'll be chances. There might be lots of chances. I'm not sure whether there'll be good chances, but there might be lots of chances.
That's interesting.
I just see, you know me about Forest. You know me about Forest. I like that they're much better side at home. Now, whether they've got the skill to get through and actually, Chelsea capitulated in the first in one half against Leeds, didn't they? They've done it. They capitulated Newcastle as well, didn't they? Was it Leeds and Newcastle they've done it?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I actually think that I'm not. If he keeps a clean sheet, I'll go. He'll have double figure points.
Interesting.
That's what I reckon anyway. But yeah, interesting. Would I own Havertz for this? I don't know. I would this week, but I tell you what, I might have him for next week.
Oh my god, I hope you get him. I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Well, you might laugh, but I know there's other people. Old Hippo's got Mason outside his team. He's doing all right.
Well, rank the forwards. Okay, Kane, Mitrovic, Martial, and Nketiah, Havertz.
Playing with Havertz, you can't put him with it. You got to
Havertz.
You got to put him in the bucket with Nketiah and the other gang, and he's probably a bit more expert. So you put him with Nketiah, you put him with Mitrovic, you put him with Martial, and of course, I'm not doing anything this week. I genuinely think, Gabe, this week is a roll your transfer week. If you can roll it.
I agree.
We need to know more, don't we? But
I agree.
But yeah. But anyway, let's keep it going. The parrot.
The Perot shout, the own goal.
I thought it was the parrot.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a new segment on the show, own goal of the week.
We used to have twat of the week, didn't we?
We used to have twat of the week. That's right. All right. Let's just as we're
the early days of Net That Haul.
That was the we had more rants back then, I feel. All right, let's check out the summary for the game week, the matchup summary here.
There we go. So I think there's not a lot to say there. We've already looked at it, haven't we? Liverpool green all over, City green all over, Newcastle's fixture difficulty looks very, very good. I'll tell you what, I just want to concentrate on the headed matchups. I think look at the Liverpool and City headed matchups. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, see Van Dijk got a goal last week. I wouldn't be surprised if he get another one this week.
I read on someone posted on Twitter that Van Dijk is a better finisher than Darwin. They're not wrong.
Notice Fulham's matchup on the look at that bloody headed matchup for Fulham as well. It just screams him, doesn't it? And Bournemouth, their headed matchup's not too bad as well. Spurs' headed matchup. Thank you very much, Harry Kane.
Bournemouth need Tavernier back.
Yeah,
to get get the service in there.
Yeah.
Bomb up the
wing. I think we've summarised this quite well. I think we've already gone through all this. I don't think we need to.
Right.
But if you want to timestamp it, 59 minutes 30, you'll be able to come to the summary if you want to just come and have a quick look.
All right, so I botched the captain there a little bit.
I don't just fly straight to it. Just go straight to it.
I'll go straight to it here.
Because it's an interesting one this week.
Yeah.
Because the captaincy metric actually has Salah top. And the reason for that is purely down to Haaland's minutes, which the period that the metric is looking at. If you think Haaland is going to play the equivalent minutes of Salah, Haaland is the choice. If you think Haaland is not, Salah is your choice. It's as simple as that this week. It's between, and I think that's all you really need to say about the captaincy this week. Again, if you went against, I'm not sorry, I didn't see a single person on the mini league I was in go against Haaland last week. His EO was something like 198%. So it's a complete waste of time. We only need a few triple captains, and then we're going to hope he misses everything, aren't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think, I don't know. But one thing I would say, and we've been saying it for a few weeks, weren't we? Salah wasn't a captaincy option. Salah wasn't a captaincy option. Salah is a captaincy option now. He's back, in my view.
Not in my view. I don't think anyone's a captaincy option other than Holland.
I mean, look, I'm not.
Just take captaincy out of the game.
All I'm saying, it's a lot closer than it was. You know me. You know the type of captaincy guy I am. You know who I'm captaining this week.
Yeah.
And it ain't Salah.
No.
Well, what I would say is that he is closer than a lot of people think.
And well, I think and Nima always says this, right? When he sees the captaincy metric, he looks at the players on there and sees how many of the players he has in his team.
Yeah,
that's what he's looking to do.
Who we got? What's the order? Haaland, Salah, Haaland, or Haaland, Salah, Kane, Trippier fourth. Look,
that's high.
Yeah, De Bruyne, Almiron. Who else is there? I can't read them all. Wilson, he's injured, isn't he? Or possibly not. I should really took him.
Darwin.
I should really actually. So you can take him down. You take his numbers, take his expected minutes down. He drops.
Yeah.
Darwin. Well.
Darwin.
Yeah. Okay. Cancelo, Foden. They've dropped. They're dropping back a bit now because obviously given the changes to the metric. Then Mitrovic is sat there. So yeah, I mean, look. With all honesty, it's a bit of a boring conversation right now, captaincy, isn't it? But I do think Salah is getting closer to him again.
Which kind of goes to show that maybe if you didn't go Salah and after the restart, that you might want to start looking for ways to get him in.
Yeah, I'm very happy to own both. I've got to be said, and I'm very happy. In fact, I own the top 5 out the top 6 players in the metric right now, so very happy with that. And I think, look, I mean, some of them are shields, and there's not a lot of, obviously even the Haaland, really, it's just getting a bit boring, isn't it? But I like to watch him, but I just don't think I can't get excited about it anymore because I'm just not going to gain any rank if he scores. You know what I mean?
I still celebrate the return though. I like points. And I know I'm not gaining anything, but
no, I know it's nice to get 100 points, isn't it?
It's nice to get 100 points.
Colin's saying I'd be very surprised if Haaland missed out. I wouldn't be surprised if KDB did.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's interesting. So that makes you think. I don't know. I don't think I would jump off KDB if it was me.
No, I'm not jumping off him.
No. All right, that's it. I think, Gabe, have we got any questions? Any questions in there? Just to quickly finish off for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we have a few questions here from the chat. Start with Claire. Claire FPL says, my decision I need to make in Game Week 18 is, do I start Akanji and bench Gabriel versus Brighton?
Oh, that's tough.
Gabriel versus Akanji. Hold on.
Because you've got a nailed defender in Gabriel, who are top of the league, but away at a tougher fixture, and you've got Akanji, who looks a pretty good option against a very good matchup, but with a minutes risk. That is not an easy call.
Here's the thing: is Akanji less of a minutes risk than we think? He's played 90 since he's joined the league. He's played 90 minutes in every single match except for one, where he got subbed in the 71st minute.
But Walker was injured, right? Walker's been injured, right? Walker was injured during that time. Walker's now fit.
And Walker's now fit, and Akanji played over Walker.
Well, that in one game, we don't know too much, do we?
I don't think Walker.
We're still saying, though, we just said it at the start of the show, didn't we? That we don't know. We know less now than we knew then. What we knew then is Walker was injured. What we know now is Walker's played a World Cup, and he's available now.
So game weeks. So just game weeks 2 through 6. Walker got injured game week 9. Game weeks 2 through 6, Walker played. Walker started. Akanji still started. He played right-sided center back.
Right.
But Stones was injured.
Yeah.
So there's the uncertainty.
I just think Akanji is possibly. I think it's Alex. Is a man. I think he watches the show actually.
Yeah.
Alex. He does some nice threads on Twitter, and he suggested that Akanji and Stones sort of went from a 60% minutes risk to about a 75% play, not rather than bench. If you're comfortable, I'm going to leave this with them. Actually, I can't call this. I'm going to sit on the fence here. That minute risk is enough for me to play Gabriel in the way I play FPL.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I might go Akanji there, but it is a risk. It would feel risky, but that's probably what I would do. So good question. Next question. The next one, what we already discussed is James out, Riemann. We discussed some better options.
Not for me.
No. I prefer Estupinian. And then let's see, the NYTG. So that's the New York. That's what is that? The New York.
I'm not quite sure.
I don't know.
Anyway, he needs to let us know what it means. But
I need to.
It's not rude.
I think. Reese. No. Oh, this is Perot. This is a Perot out. I need to replace him. I have 5.2 to spend if I take him out.
Depends who he's got, doesn't it? Surely depends who he's got.
It depends who you have. 5.2.
Yeah, and I think if you go to if the NYTG is on Twitter, he needs to go to Twitter, because I actually posted the algo on Twitter this morning for the defender. With the top choice for defenders with all the different numbers. So I got a question on, because I didn't think we were going to do a show. So I put it actually onto Twitter. So if you go to Twitter, but go onto the Net That Haul account, not mine, because I've managed to lock mine. And then and you'll see. And it was Botman, and there was obviously Arsenal options up there. There was Botman there. There was White there. There was Gabriel there. Saliba was there. But I mean, there's yellow card. Is there some yellow card risks flying around there? I think there might be. Not sure. Check that out. But look, I just think you're not going an awful lot away from Brighton, Arsenal, Newcastle. If you ask me,
Botman is the same price, so 4.4. You can go straight across the Botman.
It's an easy move, isn't he?
Yeah. Sorry about that, Perot.
He rotates, and again, you've got what Botman and White actually is quite a nice combination as well.
Yeah. Let's just see if anything else has come in the chat.
Now, what's this? Podners. We're going to put Podner on the. We're going to put Podner's comment on the screen in a minute because, quite frankly, I haven't got a clue what he means. But we're going to need to read it out to try and work it out. But anyway, James to Shaw or Botman?
Botman for me.
Yeah, I do like Shaw, but I think. Oh, go on! I'm going to go Reece James. I'm going to go to Shaw here. I'm going to go Shaw.
All right.
I'm going to go Shaw.
I like it.
I do like it. I mean, look, he's got a really good fixture coming up in 19 as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And if they particularly, when are we going to hear it? We really need Nima for these doubles. We need to know, he has the ear to the ground on when these doubles are likely to be announced normally. I don't. I rely on him. But I mean, if Manchester United get a double game week, I mean, these players all of a sudden become very, very interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Sounds like Mariner knows there are known unknowns. This is from Podner. That is to say that he knows there are some things he does not know, but there are also unknown unknowns, the ones that he doesn't know, we don't know. What the is he on about? Is this is this some quote from some philosopher which you're going to unearth for me for next week?
Well, it is a concept. It's about like there are the things that you know that you don't know, right? I know that I don't know how to do differential calculus anymore. I've lost that skill. I don't know. I know that I don't know that, but there are things that I don't know that I don't know
as well. You know that
I don't know how to do Excel. Exactly. I build models and I don't know how to do Excel, for example. I know this, right? This is why I rely on you. But there are things that we don't know. And this is kind of going back to the philosophy of like we can't even fathom these things, right? Because we don't know them yet. Or things that we think we know, but if we don't know them, then we don't know that we don't know them. Because we think we know them.
He's basically saying that I've got splinters on the ass because I'm sat on the fence.
There you go.
That's basically what he's saying.
That's the short form
conversation. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Let's quickly. Not that I know, he's out for a while. I think, isn't he? That's why I'm talking about Shaw. Any news on Della?
Is any news on Della? Is he out for a while? I thought it was.
I don't know. We'd have to check. Check Ben Dinnery is the answer to that one. We rely on Ben for things.
Thank you. FPL Trini here. If Saka is the 8 million mid to have, how do we fit him in with Salah, KDB, Foden, Rashford, Almiron? It's the only way to do it. 3-5-2. It's the only way.
Is he the one? I mean, again, I just think there is value now in Arsenal at that Odegaard value, at that Odegaard level, which might open up what you want to do. But I'm not saying Saka's a bad pick. I can never say that. I'm just saying that my structure doesn't work that right now. So what to do?
Right on. Thanks for that, Trini. We have Nataja K. Would you bring in Rashford or Almiron first? The last hour before deadline tweaks caused a nightmare of missing them both from the final team. Ouch. Sorry for that. Nightmare, Nataja. Who would you prioritize?
Almiron. Because I like that Leeds fixture more than I like the Wolves one. That's it. Yeah. That's the only reason. I'm really looking at, you've asked me to prioritise one over the other right now. I'd go Almiron. Home fixture against away fixture. I really, really think he's going to... He looks so good. He looks amazing. I literally just went, wow, that goal is so good. So good.
Yeah. I think, prioritize the points. Almiron in the fixture makes more sense. If you're a price person, Rashford will probably go up in price first.
Rashford,
but
I know.
Yeah.
Rashford's an amazing pick as well. But
but it's Rumsfeld, former Secretary of State, I believe, Donald Rumsfeld, here of the United States, maybe.
Good God.
I don't know.
Okay,
that's the Rumsfeld I know.
Yeah.
Josh Dalmian, what's your decision on benching? Oh, so what are you going to decide? People want to know.
I think Martial's going to be on the bench.
Martial is on the bench. You heard it here.
So.
And
I might change my mind tomorrow, but he's actually in my bus team benched.
If you change your mind, we're going to force you to get Anthony Martial tattooed on your buttocks.
I'd rather not. What else we got?
Let's see.
Very quick. Let's
Rumors.
really rattle through. We need 2 more minutes and we need to be out of here.
We're out of here in 2 minutes. Rumors are Man United will get a double before Brighton. No idea when. Again,
Okay.
we don't know about these things. Hold on to Wilson until further news. It depends who you have. I would moving him to Mitrovic is
Yeah,
too obvious.
I think that is actually fairly obvious, actually.
Yeah,
because there's
too
not
obvious.
There was a rumor. Basically, Howe said Wilson may need a little bit longer to get back to full speed. So even if he plays, he might only be a sub. So I think Mitrovic is a good call.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Mitrovic, Catherine Adams asks, I have Darwin. Would you keep him one more game week before swapping him for Mitrovic or do the transfer now?
I know what you would do, but I would keep him.
Absolutely do the transfer now.
Look, sure, he's got a
he's gonna score a brace.
90. He's got a 0.9 chance of a goal on Hub this week. 0.9.
Hub, I guess they haven't seen him play. Anyway, moving on here, we're down to 1 more minute. I think it's Gameweek 20 for possible United. There we go. Cheers. And that'll do it.
Maybe I don't sell Martial after all and play him against Bournemouth and then have a double the following week.
And in the meantime, Mitrovic is just hammering you.
Bastard. Right, next.
We're good. That's it. That's it.
That's it. Cool.
That's it.
Right, Gabe, get us out of here. Let's
get us out of here.
Close the show since you've been running it.
Right on. Really quickly, we haven't done any plugs, so help us out, spread the word. There's not much time to catch this episode, so if you guys could share the episode, give us a like, give us a share, hit the bell, do all the good things. Join us, join the Discord, join us as a hauler, and most of all, good luck this weekend. Yes. Smile. Deadlines in less than 12 hours.
Oh, and on behalf of Net That Haul. We would just like to thank you all for your support this year, and we wish you a very happy and peaceful, prosperous new year with good health, which I'm obviously hoping for myself as well. Yes. And yes, have a good one. Cheers, and we will see you in the new year. Gabe, are you going to hit the button or shall I?
You do it.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.